The historical period known as the Belle Époque, marked by extraordinary technological and economic progress, brought forth a considerable number of innovations that revolutionized the world, along with a series of enigmas and mysteries that continue to intrigue us to this day. These developments were reflected in both civilian and military fields. In the latter, a small project, never advancing beyond the prototype stage and soon consigned to oblivion, stands as a testament to an era characterized by great strides forward, but also significant contradictions, symptomatic of a pace of technological progress that outstripped contemporary military tactics and doctrines.
The rapid evolution of firearms and artillery in the latter half of the 19th century also led to experimental shifts in their tactical use, moving away from the rigid Napoleonic-style doctrines of the past. As for artillery, despite the considerable technical advancements of the time, it remained a weapon that was slow and difficult to maneuver, making it hard to deploy quickly. Nevertheless, engineers succeeded in significantly improving range, accuracy, and rate of fire. In an attempt to overcome these limitations, Rear Admiral Augusto Albini conceived an exceptionally singular vehicle, an innovation clearly ahead of its time. Already well known for his contributions to the development of both light firearms and artillery systems, Albini sought to resolve the above-mentioned challenges by mounting a small-caliber cannon onto the chassis of one of the earliest commercially available automobiles. In effect, it was the very first autocannon in history. Today, only a faded photograph of the vehicle survives, along with a few curious descriptions published in contemporary periodicals. Let us examine these fragments. From the image, it is evident that, as with modern autocannons, the integration of the gun carriage with the chassis, more precisely with the front axle, theoretically provided a degree of stability to the weapon both during firing and aiming. Due to the rudimentary nature of the vehicle, firing was realistically feasible only from a stationary position, despite claims by writers of the time that firing while in motion might be a viable option. The cannon's caliber remains unknown, but it appears to have been fully traversable thanks to a central pivot that allowed the weapon to rotate horizontally. This feature would have been most useful when stationary, as during motion, the effective traverse would likely have been limited to an arc of about 30 degrees, sufficient, however, to allow the piece to fire both while advancing and during a retreat. The cannon was protected against shrapnel and small arms fire by a shield mounted directly onto the gun carriage. The crew, theoretically composed of 3 to 4 men, 2 of whom were dedicated to operating the cannon, was significantly smaller than that required to serve a standard field gun. However, the vehicle could carry only a limited quantity of ammunition, necessitating a second support vehicle for resupply. Its mobility over rough terrain was questionable, a limitation common to all vehicles of that era. In fact, most movement was expected to be performed via animal traction, with the engine reserved for use on the battlefield itself. Nevertheless, compared to a conventional field gun, the autocannon's theoretical deployment time was greatly reduced thanks to the enhanced mobility and stability afforded by the automobile chassis. Count Albini's autocannon soon faded into obscurity, yet it remains a noteworthy forerunner of modern self-propelled artillery, sharing many of the same fundamental characteristics. Augusto Albini was born in Genoa on July 30, 1830, the son of Admiral Giuseppe. Like his brothers, he followed in his father's footsteps and pursued a naval career, serving with the Royal Sardinian Navy during the Crimean Campaign and the Second War of Independence, distinguishing himself during the Siege of Gaeta. In 1862, he was assigned to the Italian Embassy in London as naval attaché, a post he held until 1872. On October 4, 1873, Albini, holding the rank of captain of frigate, was appointed Director of Artillery and Torpedoes at the Ministry of the Navy. a position he would leave 10 years later with the rank of Rear Admiral to become president of the Ansaldo Armstrong Company. Throughout his career, he developed significant projects in the field of artillery and small arms. A senator of the kingdom, he died in Rome on June 3, 1909.